Joining us now, we have Mr. Dan Horne. Dan, nice to meet you. I want to thank you for coming down and spending some time with us. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of background on what you do, and then get into some, whatever you want to share with us.
Well, my last, the only job I've had since I've lived in Arizona was that I was Chief Financial Officer at a defense contractor in Mesa. I did that for 7 of my 9 years of being in Arizona, and 8 of the 9 years I've been in Maricopa County. And before that, I was an engineer for a number of years, and I ran operations at a Fortune 500 before that. Then I ran into the legal system in Maricopa County, and needless to say, my life has changed radically.
Well, that's what we're looking to hear about, but also, so where would you like to start? The economics, I know, but tell us about your book. Where do you want to start?
Well, we can talk a little bit about what happened to me, or a lot about what happened to me, as the case may be. In late 2004, I had a new baby. I was 55, had my second child.
Show off.
Finally got out of 20 years of college and was able to get married and start a family. And unfortunately, for me, the baby had some birth problems. And so after about 6 months of living with that, I was exhausted beyond being able to stay awake at work. And you might imagine chief financial officers can't fall asleep in executive meetings.
Yeah, it's not good on a resume.
And I fell back on some habits of my youth that led to not eating right, and high caffeine, high sugar, poor diet. Okay. But eventually, after some months, made me hypoglycemic. And I went into insulin shock, and as a result of that and a beer, I ended up in a DUI accident. Now, the DUI accident had lots of mitigating circumstances. The problem was not me, in the sense of why I wrote the book or why I'm even here. We all agree that DUI is bad, right. I think. I think DUI is bad.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
And we might disagree as to what the penalty should be versus the incentive that were out there to do it. But the point is that I've never been arrested, never had a DUI accident. I've since been assessed for substance abuse or alcohol problems. That took about 20 minutes, and I was out of there. That they found no problem with me whatsoever.
Squeaky clean.
And yeah, literally squeaky fine. And but however, I was charged not with anything relating to DUI. The accident had no serious injuries in it. The other person in the accident failed an opiates test and was an admitted heroin addict. So there were reasons to go to trial, to say the least. But I was facing 10 years mandatory to life based on the way that I was charged. And because of that, and because of the fact I have 2 young children and a wife that mean everything in the world to me, I accepted a plea agreement with the county attorney, Andrew Thomas, right after he got elected into office. And now, as a violent felon, which I've agreed to become, I spent a year in Joe Arpaio's Tent City Jail.
Are you serious?
And I'm fairly unemployable. So rather than paying thousands of dollars in state taxes, I'm on the verge of starting to live off the state.
Yeah. With
3 college degrees, and for all means and purposes.
Clean character, great career behind you, and ahead of you.
Exactly.
We've heard a bunch of this in a bunch of the interviews about the plea agreements that this state has set up. It seems to be one big rigged system, the plea agreements.
Well, it is. It is. It's very clearly that. And I've met a number of the people. I've also met other people's families who are protecting their children who are now in prison that I've met through the book, or through having published the book, where it appears that, as far as I can tell in this state, mandatory sentencing is a tool that is used for political promotion. And Andrew Thomas is an expert at this, and he will charge people with crimes that carry mandatory minimum sentences and be able then to get a plea agreement signed. And statistically, for the whole nation, 98 out of 100 people who are charged with a crime that carries a mandatory minimum sentence plead guilty. It doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. The alternative of losing at trial is so heinous, they'll accept a plea. And here, Andrew Thomas has been able to use these laws and manipulate them to his advantage, and he's created the statistics that he needs to build himself a political resume. I mean, understand, this man has no political standing of his own. He has to create one. And being county attorney gave him a platform to do that.
Wow.
And within 24 months, he had drained all the defense resources for capital crimes within the state of Arizona. He took Arizona from being the ninth most dangerous state in 2004 to being the third most dangerous state in 2007. And he created that by manufacturing the statistics he needs, by charging people as violent felons and child molesters and all kinds of other things. I mean, I met a man in Tent City, for instance, who someone saw urinate on the back of a building, and he's a registered sex offender.